So this is what's called quadratic in form. Quadratic means that you've got a squared term, so a and then something squared. Usually we have x, ax squared plus b times x plus c equals 0. But if you have anything that is of this form, then you can also use the quadratic formula. So for us, it's a z squared that goes right here. And then I would have to put the same thing right here. So the same thing has to go in those parentheses for it to be quadratic in form. And then notice that this, when you multiply these two, it gives you z to the fourth. That's what that is. Negative 6z squared. So that's going to be the b term, and then the number. So we can use the quadratic formula, but instead of it being x equals, it's going to be whatever this thing is, equals. So z squared equals, and then we do the quadratic formula. So that's negative of the b term plus or minus the square root b is squared minus 4 times the a is a 1 in this case times a 3. And then it's all divided by 2 times the a. So we need to simplify all of this and get the two answers that this produces, and then we'll have to take the square root to get a total of 4 answers. With this being to the fourth, we can get as many as 4 answers. So let's clean this up. This is going to be 6 plus or minus the square root of what? Well, this is 36. This is going to be subtract 12. So 36 subtract 12, that's going to be 24. Right? 24, yeah. And then it's divided by 2. And then don't forget, this is still z squared equals. So I think that we should just go ahead and get decimal answers, because we're going to have to take the square root of it. Because if we did exact answers, we would have the square root and then a square root inside of that. Nested square roots doesn't look very neat. So let's get decimal answers. So parentheses, here's the numerator, 6 plus the square root of 24 divided by 2. And then do the same thing with subtract. So we have z squared equals a 5.449, or z squared is equal to 0.551. And then we need to take the square root of each of those. So square root of 5.449. So this one is going to produce plus or minus, because when you take square root of both sides, you need to put positive and negative, 2.334. Or over here, it could be plus or minus. And now take the square root of 0.551. 0.742.